Everyone, thanks so much for joining my channel today. If you haven't already, please subscribe so that you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. I just wanted to quickly come to you today to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart, and that is nursing or breastfeeding. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is because a friend of mine reached out and she was having a little bit of anxiety going back to work because she didn't have enough, or what she thought wasn't enough, of a stockpile. And so that just got me thinking that, and she was worried. She thinks she had like 5 or 6 bags in her freezer, and she's going back next week, and she just was, she was freaking out a little bit. And it just got me thinking that a lot of the conversations these days around natural mommyhood and natural this and natural that, it just is really anxiety inducing. And I remember going through that, and I'll say that now, having had my second child, I am a little bit better at ignoring people, and here I am trying to be one of those people. But I hope that you'll find this as more of an encouraging conversation, some encouraging words from someone who went through some of the, stresses at the beginning, and now I'm a little more comfortable and confident, and that's really all that it takes. It takes a little bit of time for you to get confident in yourself as a mom and what you're doing, and just start to realize that you're the only one who can know what to do that's best for your kid and for yourself. And so as much information as you can get in from the internets and the people around you and your mom and your grandmother and every other well-meaning person, just take it all in and then make it work for yourself. Take a bit here and a bit there and just make it work for yourself, because really at the end of the day, you're the only one who's at home with that baby and, trying to make it work and trying to figure out what works best for you. So I just wanted to say, stockpiles are crazy. Stockpiling, and I used to be a couponer, and I have a stockpile of milk, and so I know what it feels like to feel like you have to have it. But on the other hand, you really don't. I started with my first son. I remember when it was time to go back to work, freaking out because I only had a few bags of milk in the freezer, and I started fretting and driving myself crazy, trying to pump at different hours of the day. In the morning, when's the best time? When can you get the most amount of milk? And trying to figure out when to do that around a kid that's already feeding on demand. It's insane. When are you supposed to pump all this extra milk if your kid is already eating every 90 minutes? There's no, I don't know. I don't know when you're supposed to do it. And the reality is that you're just not, while you're at home, if you're feeding on demand, you're really gonna have a difficult time trying to stock your freezer with breast milk. So I think the best thing is to just get that out of your mind. One, it's going to cause you a lot of stress and anxiety, and that is the number one thing that's going to reduce your milk supply. So get that out of your mind one time, and then, start fresh, right? So if you're not worried about having hundreds of ounces of milk in the freezer, then you can just think about ways to keep yourself healthy and how to help yourself sort of produce the amount of milk that your body is going to produce. That's not the same as mine. That's not the same as your sister's. That's not the same as your friends. It's only what you can produce. Along the way, some tips that I've received and some things that I've done in the last couple of years that's helped me is to make sure that I was drinking enough water. That is the number one way to work on your own milk supply. Your body needs, I think it's something like your weight in ounces. That's how much water your body needs to begin with. Now imagine that you're also trying to feed another human being. So if you are not a water crazed person who's already drinking your weight in water or in ounces, then you're probably not drinking as much water as you should be. So off the bat, add a few bottles of water to your routine until you get to this point where you definitely are drinking your weight in ounces, and then add a little bit more if you can, especially if you're also working out, or if you're up really late, or if you're, any reason at all, it doesn't help. Drinking water is good for your complexion, it's good for your digestive system, it's good for breastfeeding. So there's no wrong reason, there's no bad way, there's no bad effect of drinking a lot of water. So that's number one, get on it. The second thing is some people take supplements, fenugreek, some pill supplements, yogurt. I hear that oatmeal is really good at increasing your milk supply. I've heard different things from everyone. Some people swear by it and really feel like it has increased their supply. Other people said it really didn't have an effect. So if you'd like to take some supplements, please feel free to. There are so many different things on the market for you to try. But again, don't break the bank to do it, and don't stress yourself out if it's not turning out the way that you assume it would. The third thing, so that's drink a lot of water, take supplements if you want it. And the third thing is just to eat. In the early months of motherhood, especially when you are trying to sustain a human from your own body, and you're not sleeping, and you might have to go to work, and you have to figure out how to keep the rest of your life in order, it's really easy to forget to eat. Or to choose to skip meals. And that is a recipe for disaster. Your body needs to be fed. You need to be healthy. You need to be getting as many different kinds of, fats and proteins and all of those things. I'm not a health specialist, but I do know that your body needs to have a nice, healthy range of foods within it for you, yourself, and also for your child. So as much as you can, make sure that when the people around you are eating, that you're also eating. Another trick with the water situation is whenever you're nursing, try to have a bottle of water nearby you so that you can drink some water while you're nursing. It's just it's an easy way to kind of in and out replace what's coming out of you, even though you definitely need more than that. So those are my three things that come to mind when thinking about preparing either to go back to work, or if for any reason you want to start pumping. The number one thing for me is to not stress out about it, and to know that your body is going to do what your body is going to do, and it's going to provide for your child. On the other hand, if you find that you're not producing, and I say not producing enough, I use that really loosely because there's no world where you're just going to be spraying milk everywhere, and you're also probably not going to be filling a gallon jug of milk. But if you need 10 ounces and you're only making 8 ounces in a day, consider supplementing. I used to put the single serve formula packets in my daycare bag each week for my first son, just in case. I remember the first few weeks that I was at work, I really wasn't making as much as I thought that I needed, even though it was just around the amount that my son was drinking. I just was always worried that maybe there was going to be a day where he needed 12 ounces and I only had 10. And so I made sure I actually was getting some for free in the mail. And so I made sure to add a couple of these formula packets to my bag so that if there was a chance that he needed more, I knew that he was going to be fine, right? If by chance they spilled the bottle, which God forbid you spill any breast milk anywhere, I knew that there was going to be some backup for him and he was going to be fine. So I encourage you to consider adding some formula, like the little single serve formula packets, to your bag, to your daycare bag, to your pantry, wherever, and just let it relieve some of the stress and anxiety that you might have over creating enough milk. Know that your kid is going to have what they need because you've thought ahead and provided this extra milk for them. And really, at the end of the day, there's no test. There's no little old lady that's going to come around with a checklist and ask you, how many times did you give formula? Oh, you gave them formula once? You can't ever say that you exclusively breastfed. I gave my kid a few packets of formula, and I wish you would tell me that I didn't exclusively breastfeed my kid. It does 1, 2, 3, 10 bottles of formula over the course of your baby's, lifetime does not in any way undo all of the hard work that you did to make sure that you were giving your baby what it was that you wanted to provide for them. So again, relax, don't cause yourself any added stress. There's so many other things to stress about, so don't waste any of your stress points on milk. It's all going to work out, and if it doesn't, you will know, and you will take the necessary steps to fix it, whether that's supplementing some more, whether that's getting some tea or yogurt or some other things. Like, if you are even worried about how much milk your kid is getting or how much milk you're going to make for your kid, you're going to do the right thing when if it happens that you need to figure something else out. You are already the kind of parent, the kind of mom who's going to do anything in her power to make sure that your kid is fed. So stop worrying about it. And again, I know it's easy for me to tell you that. I just hope that you believe it. I hope that you take a minute to remember that you are doing a fantastic job at whatever it is, like whether you are nursing on demand, whether you're nursing on a schedule, whether you're using formula, whether you're using formula and cereal or milk and cereal or nursing and whatever it is that you're doing, you are doing what's best for your child, and your child loves you. They don't know anybody else. They don't care about anybody else. And when you come around, like, sometimes it's almost hard. It's hard for me because I'm like, hey, I'm more than just milk. Like, I'm a real person over here. But really, your kid knows. They know, even if they don't really know, they know what they need, and they know that they're getting it from you. So you're doing a really good job. Keep at it. If you need help, reach out to someone. Call your doctor if you need a lactation consultant, like a consultant to come out to you, or maybe you can go to the hospital. See if your local hospital has a mother's group. My local hospital has a fantastic mother's group. It meets 3 times a week for 2 hours, and I still go even though I really don't need it. And my son is 6 months old already, but people go and they stop in afterwards, even after the newborn stage, they keep coming back, because not only is a mother's group helpful for you to get the support you need for breastfeeding or supplementing, but it's also good for you as a mom to know that there are other moms around going through the same thing that you're going through. It's also a great way, if you're on maternity leave and you're the only one at home, it's a great way to get yourself out of the house, see some adult people, and get some encouragement. That's Emery. Emery's awake. I see you. I'm trying to multitask here. So that's all that I really wanted to come to you with today, is to remind you that you are doing a fantastic job, and to hope that if you need help, that you will reach out and get the help. Don't think that you have to do it all by yourself, because that will cause you some additional stress that's only going to hurt you. It's parenting, motherhood, all of nursing. It's all things that they're natural things, but they're not things that you're born knowing. And I don't know how else to explain the difference between those two things. But you're not, kids don't come with a guide. Nursing doesn't come with a guide. You just have to figure it out. And if you surround yourself with people who care about you and know a thing or two from experience or from, their own research about, some best practices, then you're going to be okay. Just remember that you know what you're doing. You are going to provide for your child, and you're doing a great job. So anyway, thanks again for being with me today. If you have not already, feel free to subscribe. If you have any questions, put them in the comments and I'll be sure to answer. Thanks so much. Bye.